Hello, friends. Welcome to the very first episode of a podcast I never wanted to do.
even though he finally agreed to do it. He said, when are we doing it? I finally
agreed to do it. I finally said whatever. My name is Darrious.
My name is Jeremy.
And welcome to Avengers
Disassemble, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Now, it's called a podcast. We're not uploading it on Spotify as of right now.
It can still be a podcast when it's on YouTube.
Exactly. No, that's what I mean.
Fine.
So yeah.
We will be coming to your local streaming services very, very soon, but we will be solely here on the YouTubes for now because the technological one of the two of us is very busy right now. And I'm going to let you guess who that is.
Why? I can be busy too.
The point of this podcast is Jeremy is a super fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Love these movies.
I am not a fan in really any way, shape, form, or fashion. I love all the gay stuff. I love all the stuff about witches. And I like all the mystical, magical stuff, which is not where we are because we're on the very first movie.
Yeah, no, they did not start off that way at all.
And I want to go ahead and just preface that I am not hating, shitting on any of these movies. But the point of me in this podcast is to look at it from an objective lens because I don't hate these movies. I don't love these movies. I'm fairly indifferent about these movies as far as the ones that I haven't seen. Now, there are some that I have seen that obviously we will get into as the podcast progresses.
Which he loves a lot. He loves the movies he's already seen.
There are at least one. There is at least one that I absolutely love and a few that I like a lot. And then probably one that I'm just like, that's a good movie.
Yeah. So why don't you explain the movie, because there's a certain amount of movies you haven't seen. There's a certain amount of movies you have seen. Go ahead and explain when you started to actively see these movies.
I started to actively see these movies when our good friend Jazz and I started a YouTube channel called Same Difference. And we brought Jeremy on as originally just sometimes
just a kind of maybe a one-off,
every now and then guest. But then we started doing movie reviews called Asleep in the Third Row. They are still up. You can still watch some of our original reviews. Actually, I might link one of our Marvel reviews down below.
Yeah, you should do Age of Ultron. That's probably our best.
No, I don't want people to know how I feel about Age of Ultron this far in advance. It's some ways down the road.
That's good. But one.
So I didn't see. I think the first one I saw was Iron Man 3, but that was before we were friends.
That was 1 year after Avengers came out. But
that was not a movie that we reviewed. That was with some friends that they were like, you've never seen Iron Man? And I'm like, girl, I don't, what is an Iron Man?
A man made of iron.
But also I would say a fan of the comics and what they do with the comics. And there are aspects of the Marvel Universe that I do like. I do enjoy the X-Men. Yeah. I do enjoy like I said, the witchy shit. Scarlet Witch is probably my favorite Marvel character. No, I lied. Storm is my favorite Marvel character. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I started with Iron Man 3, and then I didn't see another one again until we reviewed, what was the first one?
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron. I think that is the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie I saw after Iron Man 3. That's crazy to think about.
Hilarious. And just to preface this, I have seen from Iron Man in 2008 to now, I've seen every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in the movie theater.
Some of them multiple times.
Most of them multiple times.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, I remember, my parents taking me, I was 13 in 2008 when Iron Man came out. I just remember my parents taking me to see it, be like, oh, cool, a superhero movie, guys in a suit flying around, this could be fun. Yeah, and little did I know it was the start of my obsession.
It was the start of something new. If you get that reference, please comment down below.
If you get that reference, please don't comment down below.
Please comment down below. You're my people.
You're not my people.
We need you.
I'm kidding. You're not my people. No, I didn't mean that. That came out so wrong.
Jeremy's going to get canceled on episode 1 of the podcast. Oh my God. Honestly, expected. Why don't we kind of tell people where the name of the... We're going to get into reviewing the movie. We got to do all the housekeeping stuff. This is our first episode.
We have to plan it out a little bit.
Yeah, we got to let you know where we're coming from. Yeah. So where did the title of this podcast come from?
Why don't you explain where the title of this podcast came from?
I would love to. Okay, so I know all about the Avengers Assemble shit. Like, I know from the comics that it's like a big thing.
It's a very famous saying Captain America says.
Yes, Captain America is all about assembling, and I would love to assemble with Captain America if you know what I mean.
Jesus fucking Christ. America's ass.
I could assemble some things with America's ass. And so when Avengers Infinity War came out, Jeremy was like, he knew with his whole heart, soul, and throbbing vagina that Captain America was gonna say Avengers Assemble.
Endgame.
And
not Infinity War. He said it in Endgame.
Endgame, yeah, whatever. And
we saw both together. So like just to preface that up a little bit, we saw Infinity War and Endgame in the movie theater like together, just the two.
And I also always get them confused.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So Jeremy is like gung-ho. He knows that this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I made the joke. I was like, wouldn't it be super funny if the moment is happening, it's so dramatic. He's like, the camera's on him. He's glistening in sweat. And he's
glistening in sweat.
Avengers! And I just lean over and go, this.
He didn't, thankfully, in the theater. Because in the movie theater, I saw it, the very first time I saw it was with you.
Yeah, we saw it together.
So in the movie theater, when they're all coming out of the portals and they're all like getting together and stuff, I'm sitting there like fucking rocking back and forth. Like, oh my God, it's happening. I was in a place during that scene.
Yeah, in a very dark place.
And so I'm glad you didn't do the
I wanted to
bullshit.
So bad. Oh my God, I wanted to so bad. I think what I really said was, before we saw the movie, I think what I said was, what if Captain America, instead of saying assemble, said disassemble?
Yeah.
Just for being stupid.
Yeah.
But it took everything in my body not to lean over to him before, because it was a nice dramatic pause. It was
the whole movie got quiet.
Yeah, the whole theater got quiet.
Yeah.
And then he said assemble, and the audience cheered, and I just was like sitting in my seat cackling silently to myself, because in my head he said disassemble. So that's where Avengers Disassemble comes from, because I am a hateful bitch.
Because when we first decided to officially start the podcast, we were like, what the fuck are we going to call this podcast? No idea. The Infinity Saga podcast, the Avengers podcast, we didn't know. The MCU podcast, we had no idea.
And I wasn't even trying to come up with names. I was like, if we're going to do a podcast about Marvel, you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And literally, I was at work, like working, and immediately just snapped. And I was like, I need to text him this right.
You work at work?
I work at work. Isn't that crazy?
Weird.
Yeah. Not used to it.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
That's Avengers Disassemble.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Thank you for joining us for our first episode. You know, this will be one of many, hopefully.
Yeah, share this with your friends, family, enemies. Share this with people you don't even know on the street. Just yell Avengers Disassemble at them. And when they ask you what the fuck does that mean, tell them it's a podcast on YouTube. Yeah.
And we will have a panel at Chicago Comic Con coming up next year.
Manifest.
No, there's like 1,500 of these podcasts, dude. We're going to go under the radar.
Hey,
you never know. You never know.
Don't talk down on our podcast.
In the first episode.
Literally filming the first episode and you're talking down on the podcast.
No, I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that people.
Yeah, apparently not though.
I am. I'm very hopeful that if you're joining us for the first time, thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart for watching this, because this movie series is a huge passion of mine. We'll get to it when we get to it, but I'm not so much into these movies as I used to be.
And being overworked is a huge passion of mine, so I decided to add another thing to my plate at the busiest time of my life.
Yeah, so we're going to try to get these episodes out as consistently as we can, but obviously both of us have jobs and other things.
I have 2 jobs.
He has 2 jobs. I have 1 job that has a very random schedule, so we're going to do our best to get these episodes out to you.
If we're wearing the same clothes in more than 1 episode, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't comment down below about what we wearing. Don't even ask. Yeah. Okay. Just know that we filmed these for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we love you already.
For you.
Nobody has even watched this yet, and we love you.
Okay? Why are you being so aggressive?
I don't know. It just happens sometimes. Okay.
So we are, unless you didn't know from the title, we're reviewing Iron Man 2008, starring Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Jeff Bridges. All the good people.
I did not know that was Jeff Bridges.
Did you really not know that was Jeff Bridges?
Until you texted me and said
Are
Jeff
you
Bridges.
kidding me?
I was like, that's Jeff Bridges?
Get out of here. Well, he does look, because he's bald and he's got the beard and shit. So
yeah, and I didn't watch the I didn't watch the names come off the screen.
This is such a great start.
Oh my God.
Before we start the review, just to give you some behind the scenes information, we did not watch these movies together.
No. There are some that we will watch together.
There is a priority list of the movies we watched together.
And it didn't work out. We were going to watch this movie together.
Yeah, we tried.
The schedule didn't work, so we watched this movie separately.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we watched this movie separately because honestly, the movies that we have decided we are going to watch together, which you'll see in the episode. We won't tell you now. But I'm glad most of them are movies that I've already seen.
Except one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to jump into Iron Man. Now, I am going to start off every episode this way, so because I like to love every single one of these movies, so my opinion is like valid through pretty much every single one of these movies. It won't change very much. Well, we'll see, but it won't change very much.
I'm very convincing.
So, Darrious Varner.
Don't say my last name. I'm kidding.
Fuck you. Darius, not Varner. This is your first time seeing Iron Man.
I have never seen this movie before.
You've never seen it before?
I've never even thought to see it before.
Okay.
Don't turn all the way toward me like that. That's crazy. I feel like I'm about to get attacked. I feel like this man is straight up about to murder me in his home.
What did you think? What did you think of Iron Man?
Oh, do we have the time? Okay, so honestly, first impression, never seen the film before. Going in fully unbiased, not thinking that I was gonna hate it, not thinking that I was gonna love it, just going in strictly, I'm gonna watch a movie. I was bored the whole time.
The whole time?
That movie is 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and it is about 45 minutes too long.
You are so full of shit. The whole time, from beginning to end, you were bored.
From minute 1 to minute 2 hour and 7.
Well, okay, so let's start from the opening scene then. Like when he's in the car, joking around and chatting and fucking around with those army people. Like, what's wrong with that? So that's a great...
My very first note is immediately hate the opening song.
By AC/DC?
Yeah.
You hate Back in Black?
I don't like that song.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't like that song.
Oh my God.
But also, it just... I don't know, and maybe this is 2008 because it's very 2008. Like the movie,
I mean, it is.
The movie is very dated now. Like people in the year 3000 will be watching that movie and be like, "Damn, 2008 was a time. Y'all was struggling. Why was everything so dark?"
One thing I really liked about this movie too is I
took notes.
You took a lot of notes.
Yeah, I took a full page of notes.
One thing I really liked about this movie too is, especially like rewatching it, was like I love compared to how like super action heavy and like space adventures these movies eventually become. I really love how like grounded and dark this movie kind of was. It had a very grounded, gritty, dark tone to it. You didn't think so?
It was like watching a DC movie.
Okay, chill out.
That was a hot take. That was a hot take.
You need to calm down for a second.
That was a hot take.
You need to calm down for a second.
I haven't thought that until literally right now.
Like what kinds of DC movies? Like Dark Knight or Batman versus Superman?
The bad ones.
Jesus God. So okay, why don't you dive in on why this movie bored you so heavily?
Okay,
why don't you start
here's the thing.
there?
There's a thing that happens in all of these movies, and I think I wrote this down somewhere in here. But there's a thing that happens in every Marvel movie where like there's a chunk in the middle specifically where it's just a montage. And like, I love a montage.
Well, of him like building up the suit. And shit?
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's 2 suit montages. I get that we need to see him create the first suit, and then that prompts him to like perfect that suit.
Of course, right.
And of course, in subsequent movies, we go on to see him off screen perfect.
Every movie will have like a brand new spanking gold
better
suit, like,
nanotechnology, vibranium, like.
But that is what's so charming about the movie too. It's like how
charming is
charming. No, charming is the right word, because like you said, without like how it becomes all nanotechnology and shit, it's so cool to see just the original version of it, like how janky and just like kind of regular.
I would have preferred him being in that prototype suit,
like in the cave.
Yes, for most of the movie.
And
then hold on.
Yeah.
And then toward the end, or in Iron Man 2, he comes out with...
Not a whole movie.
He comes out with the new and improved suit. And I only say that because, like, I felt like when he was making the suit in the cave with old boy, Rip, that, like, that whole... Everything about that was just kind of like, okay, he's been captured by these people, and... they are making him build the weapons that he was already building, but he's like very obviously not building these weapons. And like, it takes them all the way until he is literally finished.
I was thinking that rewatching it last night too.
He's standing there in front of them, shooting flames from his wrists. And they're like, you're not making the missiles.
It does take them a long. Okay, I will give you that.
I was trying to give them a little bit of grace. They don't know what he's doing. They don't know the technology like that.
Right.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, they don't really get it. They don't know. They don't know. But I was like, this motherfucker built a whole
suit. So they established in the movie he's been in captivity for 3 months.
And they take too long to do that.
They should have established. I do agree with that. They should have established.
Because I was like, is this all the same day? Because he's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
Like it's all.
Well, of course he's going to wear the same clothes. He's a hostage.
But like, there was no, and maybe that's another thing that bored me about it. There was no passage of time. It didn't feel like the time was. It didn't feel like the time was moving.
Yeah, like, and it's so quick when he says it too. He's in the car with Pepper. He goes, "I've been in captivity for 3 months. I want a bacon cheeseburger." Like, it was like, wait, come on, just slow down a little bit.
You were in captivity for 3 months. I thought you were there for 3 years. You built a whole suit,
right? Because I'll give you that. It does kind of look like maybe like did a week go by? Did a few days go by? How long did it take him to build this?
I thought it was the same day.
It was not the same. It could not be the same fucking day. It'd be real.
I did not think it was the same day, but I definitely thought it was longer than 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, it just... And I'm not saying it was unrealistic because this is a fantasy movie. Like,
nobody's going to build this suit in a cave.
There's a suspension of disbelief that has to happen.
Yeah.
But for the passage of time of the movie, it dragged so much for them to not build in those moments where it's like, it could have even been just like a glimpse at a calendar, somebody mentioning.
I'll give you, but saying it, I don't agree with you saying it dragged, but I will give you, it did not, because it's such a great scene because that whole
It's
section,
not just one scene. It's like half the movie.
No, and it should be because that's Tony. No, it should be. And I'll tell you why. I will explain to you. Because that's Tony going from his rich, bratty little self to like, oh, I don't give a fuck, to like the hero that we meet later to being like, holy shit, they're using my weapons to kill these American citizens.
Any of that.
They do, because he's
not
like...
really.
Well, because he's sitting and chatting with Yinsen when they're playing like dice or whatever the fuck they're playing with, and he goes like,
do you have a family?
Do you have a family? And he goes, no. He goes, so you're the man who has everything and nothing. And so being in captivity and away from like all that.
That one line does not establish that he was becoming a better person. I'm sorry.
Well, because then he comes back from I think Afghanistan is where they are when he's being held captive. He comes back and he's in that press conference and he's like, I've seen like men and women killed by the very weapons.
They establish it.
Yeah,
they don't establish it at all through that whole arc.
I mean, what do you expect him to say? Be like, "Wow, man, I sure am mad. I want to become Iron Man now." Like, it's subtle. It's being subtle.
It's not. It's not being subtle. It's being non-existent. I don't expect him to come out and be like, "I want to be a superhero when I get out of here." But I do expect it. If the story they're trying to tell is that he is slowly building himself to be a better man, right?
Exactly.
He's building this suit. He's also building himself as a better person.
Yeah, I mean, his main goal building this suit, doing all this, is to escape.
Right, and to save Yinsen.
Yinsen.
Yes, and that's all fine and good.
Yeah.
But that does not, to me, make a better person. That, to me, makes somebody who is in a bad situation with someone else who they've established a bond with, who is trying to get both people out of said situation.
Well,
that to me doesn't lead to Iron Man.
Well, how? What do you mean? Like, how does that not lead to him? Because he doesn't build the Iron Man suit to become a superhero and save the city at first. It's just to
get them out of there.
Get them out of there. That's when he officially builds like the gold suit, like the official suit, he's building that so he can destroy his weapons. He's not building that so he can save New York City from an alien invasion.
Exactly.
So that's such.
So he still hasn't become Iron Man. Like, he still hasn't proven to me that he wants to be a better person. Well, I guess
he does by the end. Like, come on.
I guess in that him wanting to destroy all his weapons and not make weapons anymore, that does make him a better person.
Yeah, like he tries so diligently to be like, we are not selling under the table, but then we find out, Obadiah Stane, like.
Also, Obadiah.
I knew you were gonna make fun of his name. I knew you were gonna make fun of his name. It's from the comics. Leave him alone.
From the comics. Like, Obadiah. What were y'all doing?
God.
What were y'all doing? Obadiah. Pepper Potts.
It's from the comics. They're not going to change the names just to change.
I don't want them to change the names from the comics. I'm speaking to Stan Lee himself.
Oh, okay. Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
We love you, Stan Lee. But girl, what were you doing when you named him Obadiah? Where did you pull the name Obadiah from? I'm like not even mad about it, but I'm like low-key mad about it.
Oh my God.
Pepper Potts. Get out of here.
No, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, because he tries so diligently to stop his weapons from being like manufactured and deal to the terrorists, but he finds out, Obadiah has been dealing under the table and filed the injunction against him. So that really starts to get him pissed off and be like, I need to do more than just sit here and try to run a company. I need to physically build this suit and go over there and then do it myself because there's no other way I can do this at this point. Yeah. Because he's being selfish. No, he's not being selfish. How's that being selfish? He's kicked out of his own company where he's trying to do good. That's why he builds the suit, so he can go over there and destroy the weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think Tony Stark is selfish.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point of his character at first, but he's not selfish. You cannot tell me...
Tony Stark is selfish as fuck.
You cannot tell me, like... So the man that saved the universe, I am Iron Man, snap, he saved the universe. You're telling me that man is selfish?
Yeah. He just wanted all the credit. I'm being facetious, y'all.
He's being very. This is gonna happen a lot.
I do think, because I just don't take this shit seriously, y'all. I do. Okay, so going back to that 2 hour and 7 minute fucking time. By an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, I was ready to be done watching the movie.
Oh, come on. That's when it starts getting good, too, because that's when he officially has the suit and starts fighting.
Yeah, I didn't care by that point. Because he apparently spent 3 months in captivity building the original suit that I didn't know he was in 3 months of captivity building. Yeah. It just to me, and I think I wrote this down. I maybe wrote it on the next movie. I can't tell. I can't read my own handwriting. Because I was like scribbling while I was watching the movie. Yeah. But you can tell that they are finding their footing.
Yeah, this is very much fun fact about the movie, they started filming with an unfinished script. You can tell. You can tell, and I'll give you that because
you can tell. Because where was it going? Where was it actually going? I would be interested to know what part of the script wasn't finished.
I think they had most of the script done up until the third act.
Interesting. Yeah, because to me...
Go ahead.
To me, it feels like that first part is shoehorned in. Where he's building the original suit.
In the cave?
Yes.
How is that shoehorned in? That's how he
I know that's the most important. I know that's the most important part of course. He already had the idea. He had the paperwork with him.
Exactly.
But it just, that chunk of the movie, that 30, 45 minutes of the movie. It's a good
30 to 40 minutes, yeah.
Feels so much like not storytelling to me.
Oh, that's bullshit. Because it's so cool watching him build the suit. He's molding it, he's getting it ready, he's getting along with Yinsen, they're kind of bonding a little bit.
But there's nothing, that scene is telling me nothing from a storytelling standpoint. All I know is that he's making a suit. Okay.
Well, he's making a suit to escape. How do you not?
Cool. What else am I getting from this? Like, how else am I gonna? I guess to me, I just need a little bit more. I need more. I need more content.
What did you want from the scene?
It not to be there.
It not to be there at all. So you just want him to be like, hey, I have an idea. Let me just become Iron Man one day.
Yeah. I would have loved that.
Come on. Come on, you're not being facetious right now.
I'm not. Come on. Like genuinely, I would have enjoyed anything other than that scene. It just doesn't. It tells the story. Sure. It's him. He's trying to escape. He's come up with this plan. Cool. He's wanting to save Yinsen. He's wanting to get out of there and get back home so he can do all this stuff.
Which, rewatching, by the way, Jensen's death when he's laying there saying, like, my family's dead, I'm going to go see them, don't waste your life.
Beautiful.
Last night rewatching, it got me choked up a little
Beautiful
bit.
moment.
Beautiful moment.
It did not get me choked up, but it was a beautiful
moment. It was because between two people who became friends over this 3-month period.
Yeah, and and Tony's like, and I truly believe that's the first time where Tony Stark realized, oh, shit. Like, somebody can actually care for me.
Absolutely. Like, Exactly. See, now you're getting it a little bit. This was the purpose of this chunk of the movie. So you can't just cut to him with this random dude in a cave.
I don't need that though. I don't want him with the dude in the cave.
Well, that establishes their relationship, and you can't just be told they're friends.
I did not need their relationship, is what I'm telling you.
But you just said that was somebody showing him love for one of the first times in a long time.
Yes. What I'm saying is, if that scene hadn't been there, if the character of Jensen hadn't been there at all, and it was just him in that cave trying to get out, it would not have been any different.
I heavily disagree. Because you just exactly said, it's somebody that's showing him family love and like
I didn't say family love. Well, I didn't say real appreciation.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't put words in my mouth.
Whatever you said. Fuck you. Whatever you said, like that's the purpose, like it's building a relationship with a person.
Yeah, but they didn't. The scene, that 30 to 45 minutes of the movie could have been either shortened or they could have done a little bit more to bulk out the writing to tell that story a little bit better. I disagree. To me, it just didn't give me. I didn't care by the end of it. Yeah, it was a beautiful scene that, this man sacrificed himself. For what, though? Like, y'all were in the cave together.
Well, because he wanted to die.
Well, I know he wanted to die, but for 3 months, y'all were together. Yeah. 3 months is not long enough for me to want to put down my life for somebody.
3 months, you're in 3 months of just knowing someone, maybe not, but you're in an enclosed small room with this person for 3 months
if we getting out of here, we both getting out of here alive. Put me in the suit with you.
Put me in the suit with you.
But and again, suspension of disbelief, things happen. But that scene, and we can get off of this scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been talking about the cave scene a little
because there's too much of this movie left to go over.
There's a lot of the movie left.
There's so much of the movie left to go over. But that scene to me the movie could have done something different to establish Tony being Iron Man or Tony building the original suit. Mm-hmm. It just could have did something completely different. That just, the lack of passage of time, the lack of storytelling, and the suspension of disbelief aside, amount of time that it took them to realize that this man was not building
I'll give you that because they're even looking at the camera, and when he gets out of the bed, he's got that shining glowing thing on his chest.
He's got a glowing emblem in his chest.
And they're like, wait, is he still building the missile? It's like, of course he's not fucking building the missile.
He's no longer carrying around a car. I wrote that down. Hold on, because I wrote down something about the fucking car battery. What is it?
Oh, when he's carrying around it connected to his chest.
Yeah. I said the 2008 CGI is crazy.
I disagree. I think the CGI really holds up.
The CGI is horrible.
No, it's not. I heavily disagree.
I've been watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I heavily disagree.
And it looks like the CGI from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, it does not.
I said LOL at him carrying the car battery.
Oh, yeah, cool, because he doesn't have it portable yet, so he's got to carry around this giant fucking wired-up car battery with him. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the CGI is horrible, but it definitely,
I don't think it's dated. I think it holds up.
I think
I really think it holds up.
It's dated as fuck.
No, I disagree.
Watch that with some nostalgia blinders. That shit is dated as fuck.
Fair.
If I didn't know that movie took place in 2008, I would have thought it was earlier than 2008.
Oh, come on. It's not that
I'm being so serious.
I just remember being in the theater, like you were saying with nostalgia. Nostalgia is definitely going to play a big part of me loving this movie. But I just remember sitting in the theater and watching this movie for the first time and just being blown away. I immediately fell in love with the character of Tony Stark. I immediately wanted to see him break out of that cave. I wanted to see his relationship with Pepper develop. I wanted to see him build this suit. I was into it from minute one when I saw this movie.
I did not give a fuck about any of it. I think the acting on all fronts, fabulous.
Oh, so good. Amazing. Robert Downey Jr. is born to play Tony Stark. So unbelievably fucking good.
Amazing.
Except Terrence Howard. I don't think Terrence Howard.
Let's get into that. Wait, no, let's get into that real quick.
I do not.
My note. Wait, hold on. Have to talk about replacing Terrence Howard. LOL. I think I wrote down here somewhere else. Yep, acting is great. Everyone but Terrence Howard.
You agree? Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, for those who don't know, Terrence Howard plays James Rhodes in this movie, who's Tony's best friend. And then in Iron Man 2 came out, and he's played by Don Cheadle. Much better choice, much better actor. But, however, the reason he left the movie is, and anybody who knows about this knows, like, it's left completely up in the air. Some say it was because he asked for too much money coming into the sequel. Some say,
sir, you did not give a performance that deserved more money.
Yeah. Some say it's because Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard did not get along on set whatsoever. And these are all rumors. We don't know this for sure. Some say Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. If you're watching this, please tell us why Terrence Howard. Because me and Terrence Howard beefing right now.
Why?
We can talk about it. Actually, we don't have to talk about it on camera. He is going really hard on gay people right now, and it's really.
Is he really?
Yeah.
No way.
It's really pissing me off right now.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
That's a thing for a conversation for another time.
Oh wow, we won't get into that.
I don't have much respect for Terrence Howard.
Wow, I didn't know. I mean, I've never been a Terrence Howard fan. Even when
I was a huge fan of Terrence Howard.
He's all right. He's all right.
I mean, I'm black, so black people,
you'll get more appreciation. Yeah,
but the movie Hustle and Flow, and this is just a quick tangent, and then we'll get back to the movie. But the movie Hustle and Flow was like one of the first times that I really remember seeing Terrence Howard in a movie and being like, "Wow, this guy's really great."
Yeah,
but that movie is carried by Taraji P. Henson, so whatever. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, some say they feuded. Some say Robert Downey Jr. personally asked Jon Favreau to not have him return. It's all up in the air. Nobody knows. Terrence Howard himself has come out and said it was because they wouldn't pay him enough, so he decided to leave. But there's so many words that get switched around. There's no definitive answer why he's not in the sequel. So
he didn't need to be there. So
he didn't.
And genuinely, it stands out even more because every single person, even the background actors, even the person running across the street trying to get away is doing a better job.
Yeah,
he is not very good. Checked out and not good in this movie, and
it's very. I don't think Terrence Howard I think this was the money. I don't think Terrence Howard was passionate about this at all. They put a check in front of his face and they were like, "Terrence, we need you." He's like, "Cool."
And you know what? If the MCU came to me right now and offered me a check, I would.
Yeah.
Well, of course you would.
No, I'm just saying in general. Hey, we're gonna give you $1 billion to be an Avengers Doomsday. You're gonna say no?
I signed my name on the dotted line. Yes, let's fucking do it. But I'm also gonna give a stellar fucking performance.
Right, you're gonna do your best. Yeah.
And he just was like, It was not good. It was not good.
My biggest problem, his performance, whatever. My biggest problem, so much of the movie relies on Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard's chemistry. You're supposed to believe that they have almost no chemistry together.
Chemistry.
Robert
Downey Jr. had more chemistry with the dirt on his skin than he did with Terrence Howard.
This is truthful. Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark had mountains of chemistry with Jensen compared to his chemistry.
Somebody who knew for
Rhodey.
3 months.
Yeah.
Compared to somebody who's supposed to be his best friend.
His best friend in the whole wide world. And it's just, it did not. Even in 2008 when I was sitting in the theater, I was like, God, Robert Downey Jr. is so good, but this guy who's supposed to be his best friend,
yeah.
Okay, I agree. That's so fucking funny that we agree on that. That's hilarious. That the whole cast is perfect except him.
The entire cast, every single person, down to the person that is fucking getting glass rained on. Everybody in the movie is so good except for him.
Talking about the characters and the cast stuff, I wanted to get into this because, I didn't initially think of this, but especially rewatching it last night, I was like, wait, yeah, this would have worked. The terrorist leader, the guy he shoots with the missile, and the guy Jeff Bridges kills when he steals the suit, he paralyzes him, and then he has his men shoot him.
Yeah,
he should have been the main villain.
Yeah,
he should have been the main villain because he has a vendetta against Tony. He has a reason he wants to go after him. He has the suit. He already has the suit made and ready to go. He's throughout the whole movie, you're seeing him collect the suit and getting it ready. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, we're gonna make Jeff Bridges the bad guy, so kill him and then just have him take the suit.
Well, it was supposed to be a red herring.
It was. You could tell that. It was supposed to be a twist. Yeah.
Therein goes the lack of storytelling. Yeah. And the lack of script being finished that you can see because it was like they wrote a movie up to a point and then they were like, fuck, we don't have a villain.
Well, apparently almost like a ginormous chunk of this movie was improvised.
You can fucking tell.
I mean,
it's like watching bad improv.
I think this movie is great. I think it's fantastic, but the third act gets a little messy. When I mean the third act, I mean up until the scene where Obadiah's real as a bad guy, when he gets out of the truck and he kills the terrorist and steals the suit, that's when the movie starts to go
That's when they reveal
downhill.
him as the bad guy?
Well, I mean, technically, I knew before going into this movie, I saw the poster for the movie and I saw Jeff Bridges on the poster. I was like, he's going to be the bad guy.
I knew from the moment they were like, Tony Stark took over the company for his father.
Yeah.
And all the pictures were Tony Stark in the front and Obadiah in the background. that man was out to get him.
Subtlety.
Where is the subtlety in the room with us? Because I literally knew from the moment that they started talking about Tony being the person that took over the company for his dad instead of Obadiah, that Obadiah was just out to get him playing the long game.
Yeah, like...
I was like, this man got him kidnapped up in the
Well,
desert.
he ordered to have him killed, but the terrorist leader later says it's like, you paid us trinkets to kill a prince, so like our price just went up.
Yeah, exactly. You know. What's the price up in... Oh, wait. We can't do that because copyright.
We're going to get canceled on the first episode.
Okay, so what else is there for us to talk about in this movie?
Obadiah... His plan makes sense up until he puts the suit on at the end and becomes like a giant roaring CGI monster. It's like, wait, where did this come from? Like, so let's go down his plan for a second. He wants
I want to tell you what I call. Wait, no, is that? Yeah, that's in the next review. But I did write some funny shit about his.
Okay, you don't tell me that, but so. Tony Stark takes over the company when he comes of age, which pisses Obadiah off. He wanted to take over the company. And then he wants to have him killed, which crazy ass turn. Why is this guy so homicidal all of a sudden? Like
you would too.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but having him trying to get assassinated, I don't know, it just feels a little much. Like, chill out, dude. But
also so far down the line, like, why didn't you do it when he was still young?
You're right. Maybe I guess it took him a while to get pissed off about it. They didn't really establish that very well. Like, I would give you that.
They could have used some of that 30 to 45 minutes of them building that suit in the fucking desert to establish the fact that these two have a...
But then it wouldn't have been a twist.
It was never a twist. It was never a twist. That man was never going to make it out of the desert. I was surprised when he showed back up. I was like, wow, hey.
I remember when we were sitting in the theater and when he because it's a big reveal, when he closes the door and it's open and they play that music dun, and when he shows up, when he closed the door and that showed Jeff Bridges, my mom sitting next to me and went, that son of a bitch. It was so funny.
Baby.
It was so funny. And I whispered over to her, I was like, you didn't know he was bad? She goes, no. I swear to God. I
guess it was a red herring. Maybe it was like a pink herring.
No, but so then Tony comes back, right? And he's pretending to be happy about it. Oh, thank God you're alive.
It was so fake. That's like me going to work and being like, oh my God, coming back from vacation and being like, I'm so happy to be back to work. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be back to work. Oh my God. He was like, whoa, you. Literally, he was worse than what's his name? I always want to call him Dylan McDermott.
Dylan McDermott.
What's his name? Mulroney. What's his name?
Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah, in Scream.
Oh yeah, when he's pretending that his daughter is dead and he's crying and shit.
I'm talking about in the press tour. That man had the worst. He was literally giving away he was like, well, I don't know who the killer could be. Yeah. I don't know. It might be
the most obvious killer reveal in movie history.
So funny.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, that's so funny.
That's how Jeff Bridges was when Tony Stark came back. Tony Stark walked in and he was like, oh my God.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. The boy that has been like a son to me has returned. I'm so happy. So he's back. He files an injunction against him to get him out of the company because he's stopping his weapons from being manufactured and sold to terrorists and stuff, which pisses him off. Yeah, which pisses him off. So then he...
And what is his motive to be mad? Money?
I guess because he wants America to be like on top of the world with weapons and everything like that, and he wants to make money for the company and shit like that. Before? I know it's cliche, but whatever. And so then he gets this. He finds out Tony escaped from the cave with a suit. He steals the suit from the terrorists, and he's going to build an army of iron suit soldiers with this prototype suit. So he builds that prototype suit. Then he finds out Pepper is onto him. He steals Tony's arc reactor from him in the living room.
Very dramatic scene. He goes, "Ew, you're paralyzed. And now I'm gonna steal your heart."
That's actually, I really like that scene. It's a really kind of tense moment between those two. And so much emoting coming from Robert Downey because he's just laying there paralyzed, but you get so much emoting from Robert Downey Jr. in that scene.
Robert Downey Jr. is like we've said many times. Everybody is great in this movie, sans she who shall not be named. But Robert Downey Jr. kind of stands above everyone
100%. else. He makes the movie.
He's such a great. He's so talented.
He's so good. If it was anybody else besides Robert Downey Jr., this movie would not have worked.
Genuinely, I can't think of anybody else. Who
not a single person.
Not even like of the young, our generation of actors.
He's Tony in real life.
He really is.
He's so
he probably is Iron Man for real.
I mean, I've seen him fly around. No joke. No joke. Yeah, he came down to me. It was like, "What's up?"
Yeah,
dumbass?
He came on to me. Whoa.
So then he finds out Pepper's onto him. He's going to have Pepper killed somehow. We don't understand how he was going to do it. We don't
know how.
But then the agents come from. So instead of going into hiding or doing something, he puts the prototype suit on with the arc reactor and becomes a monster that's fucking growling and like a lion in the suit and everything. Then Tony comes in. They're fighting on the highway. And where did this homicidal, I'm going to beat the shit out of Tony Stark come from?
He was already crazy because he wanted to have Tony killed.
But putting the suit on and going on a rampage throughout the city was a little too much.
What else was going to happen, Jeremy?
I mean, nothing, obviously. But that's what I'm saying, where it's the terrorist leader would have been a much better main villain because he has more motivation than Obadiah does.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. But I wrote down...
I mean, what's his plan past that point? Everybody knows this is Obadiah in the suit. So what was he going to do? So let's say he kills Tony and Pepper and then takes the suit back off. What then?
What's next? Nobody's gonna know.
How? They were going throughout the whole... They were flying to space together. Everybody in the city's gonna know.
Everybody in the city was gonna know. But
it makes no sense.
I wrote down, this MF looked like the Iron Giant. And I will not elaborate.
Because he has the red eyes and everything.
That is the Iron... Superman.
He does. Okay. That's funny.
Especially when he flies up to space and he's like...
So sad. See, now I can't unsee it now. For the rest of my life, I'm going to see Iron Giant.
When he got into the suit before he did anything, I was like, I'll be back.
Right. So stupid.
Where's Jennifer Aniston?
Now I can't unsee it.
Now
I can't unsee it. He's the Iron Giant from now on.
I knew I was going to change your mind.
I still love this movie. The third act is messy as shit.
The third and first act are messy.
The unfinished script, to me, does not become super noticeable until the third act.
To me,
I think it's fine up until
to me, it's noticeable throughout the entire film. There just are there's moments. Let's see what I've got written down here. Yeah. Him getting waterboarded with the electromagnet is crazy.
Wait, when was that?
When he's in the cave and they're waterboarding him, and he's got literal electricity right next. So he's literally gonna die. What the fuck? They're not even checking. These movies are so long. Get to the point. Oh, they take so long to get to the point, and that was my biggest issue because we all know that at the end of this movie, there's going to be a fight with a big bad. Okay,
of course,
we get it.
Had to be.
Come on, hurry up.
Well, the plot of the movie is this spoiled rich brat realizes he's done wrong to the world and tries to fix it by building a suit that he had a prototype of in a cave.
Do you know that the movie could have been that long and I would have probably liked it?
What, with one sentence?
Yes.
God.
It's
an origin story movie. There's not going to be too much of a plot to it. It's just this man becoming a superhero.
Yeah, but hurry up, okay? Get to the point. We didn't need to see him in the motorcade. The motorcade gets...
That's integral to the story.
I'm not done.
I don't care.
The motorcade gets blowed up, and then we flash back to what happened before the motorcade.
Yeah.
We didn't need that. Just start with the motorcade.
Well, that establishes his character. It established his character.
We all know his character.
Well, let's say you've never heard of Iron Man, you've never heard of the comics, you don't know who this character is, and you go into this movie.
Give me something else.
Like, it needs to give you an idea of how selfish and much of an asshole he was.
Start with the flashback. Because
I guess they wanted to start it to just have like,
but there was no reason. There was no reason. There was no reason to start it with that. They could have started with him being a piece of shit, fucking this girl, making his future wife kick the girl out of his house.
Well, they weren't dating at the time or anything.
I know, but still, like, it's crazy to think that they later get together. Anyway, they could have started with all of that, and then the motorcade could have happened. Yeah, that to me, that's just another.
I mean, I guess I could give you that, but
that's just another piece of the bad storytelling. Like, everybody feels like they got to start at the end and get back to the beginning. Like, we can just start at the beginning and work our way forward.
Well, they didn't start from the ending, but they started from like 20 minutes in and then went
exactly.
back. Like,
3 days earlier is not enough time for you to be like, it's a flashback at the very beginning of the movie. No, maybe they just start me 3 days ago.
Maybe they just were like, this would be a good place to start. It's kind of action heavy. You get an idea of who he is, and then we'll really give you.
Listen, they thought they were going to hook people in with the vehicles blowing up. Okay, cool, great, love that. Honestly, they established who Tony Stark was in that 5 minutes that they were in the motorcade, where he's like taking pictures of them and joking and laughing and being an asshole. Yeah, that I got Tony Stark's character right there. But I didn't need any.
But you have to establish Terrence Howard. You have to establish Pepper. You have to establish Jeff Bridges.
You know what? Like, with good storytelling, you can do that after.
Oh, come on. Obviously, they're just trying to make a fun superhero movie. They're not trying to make Citizen Kane or anything.
It doesn't have to be Citizen Kane, but it could at least be Death Becomes Her.
Oh, my God. So, a shitty movie, basically?
Wow. In front of my salad. in front of my salad. If you get that, comment down below. You my people.
I'm not a huge fan of Death Becomes Her. We watched it.
I know you're not a huge fan of Death Becomes Her, but that movie is incredible.
You want to talk about corny? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's a comedy.
I get it, but too much.
Okay, says the man who doesn't care that they spent 700 years of a movie in a cave doing nothing.
You know what? This movie's a classic.
Good for you.
Iron Man 1 is a classic.
Fuck you. That Becomes Her is actually a classic.
Oh, man. Will I have nostalgia goggles for most of these, for pretty much all these movies? Yes. So it's going to be hard for me to shit on these movies, but I genuinely, like, nostalgia aside, this is a great movie.
It is not.
It is a great starting point for the MCU.
An okay movie at best. And if I had seen it in 2008, I would have been like, I'm good. I'm so good.
Did you get the whole like shield set up before they actually said shield?
Oh my God, I was so sick of it by the second time.
The strategic homeland stuff, blah blah blah.
I was so sick of it by the second time because I already knew who that guy was, and I already knew what shield. Yeah, I already knew what shield was, and I was like, okay, get to the fucking point. We're workshopping.
You are biased. You are biased because you already knew at the time when this movie first came out. It was really clever that they were doing that. Because they give you the name and everything. They get the strategic blah, 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 blah. And they kind of let you put it together yourself. It's like, is he talking about S.H.I.E.L.D.? And then he says S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end. You were like, holy shit. Like, what's going on here? Like, that you are biased on that because you already know what's happening. If you saw it for the first time in 2008, it would have blown my mind.
It would have annoyed me.
No, it wouldn't have. It blew our minds when that happened because it was like, holy shit, he's talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. He's talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. They're going to do Avengers.
If you know anything about the MCU or about the Marvel Comics, and you already know he's talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I understand that they're trying to reach a new audience with these movies, and they're trying to tease and do whatever. But some stuff just fucking say it.
From what I can remember, when Iron Man first came out, there was no tease as to they were setting up a big universe. It was just like, hey, we're making a superhero movie. Come see it. Have a good time. Like, maybe we'll make a sequel. Maybe it'll be a trilogy. Who knows? We got Robert Downey Jr. Yay. You had to go see the movie and then see the setup for all like S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Nick Fury shows up at the end like that. It blew our minds because it was like, as far as I can remember, I could be wrong. They might have hinted at some kind of Avengers setup before the movie came out. But from what I remember, when I had no idea, zero idea. I was like, wait, what are they setting up here? Like, it was genius.
I didn't even know when the movie came out. So
it was a pretty big movie.
I don't know what I was doing in 2008, but it was not watching Iron Man.
I mean, pretty much when Iron Man first came out, everybody was like, it'll do till Dark Knight comes out.
I didn't see Dark Knight either.
Iron Man 1 came out in May. Dark Knight came out in July. I think it was July. And Dark Knight was the more anticipated movie at the time.
I didn't see either of them. So
it was just kind of funny that people are like, oh, the Dark Knight's going to be better. And then Iron Man came out and set up this gigantic universe that long surpassed the Dark Knight trilogy. So it's just kind of funny. I don't know.
I
This is a great movie. Fuck you.
I don't like it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It is.
Is there anything you really liked about the movie? What are the things you kind of really liked about the movie?
The acting.
That's it?
That's about where it is.
Just the acting? I mean, the acting is great and a great reason to love the movie, but that's it. This 2-hour movie, you just like the acting.
The acting is phenomenal.
It is.
It carries the movie, which is good.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. does carry this movie.
Yes, he carries the movie on his back. Other things that I might have liked, let's see if I wrote anything down. I like that he looked like the Iron Giant. That was really funny for me. The lady that he sleeps with at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah, that reporter.
Yeah, is in another movie. I can't remember her name right now, but
she's been in stuff. I don't know who she is.
Well, she's in a movie that I really, really like called Trick or Treat. If you haven't seen it.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually came out the same year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. She was in that movie.
Christine Everhart, I think her name was. Yeah.
I like that they replaced Robert or Terrence Howard.
Don Cheadle was a much better choice. Yeah.
I'm actually genuinely trying to think, like, if there was anything else I liked. I really, 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 really love the acting. I thought the acting was so good from everybody.
It was really good.
Let me think for like 2 seconds more about it. Let me close my eyes and think about it. Literally, my mind keeps going. The acting was so good.
Oh my god, dude!
There's not much else in this movie. I did enjoy his. Nope, that's the next movie. Never mind.
Jesus Christ! Apparently, you like the next movie. Who knows?
Nope. Spoiler fucking alert. No, I did enjoy his first time in the first Iron Man suit after the prototype.
Oh, like the silver one?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's just like flying and testing it for the first time.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool. I liked the little hint at Jarvis. I liked the costume design was pretty good too, I guess.
Yeah.
And the acting.
That's it.
That's all I got.
God.
That's all I got. I genuinely, I'm speaking directly into your soul. I went into this movie with an open mind. Okay? Open mind.
Yeah. I believe you. I believe you.
I do not hate this movie. I certainly don't love it. But would I ever have watched it or watch it again if it wasn't for this? No. I don't need to see it ever again. It's too long. It is too long.
I disagree. I think it's the perfect runtime.
It is 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's back when movies weren't over 2 hours long.
No, not really, because Dark Knight was like 2.5 hours long, and that movie was
of course.
amazing.
All of the comic book movies made it movies over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Listen, if you out there haven't seen Iron Man, I can't even say watch it because it's so long and boring.
You can't tell people not to watch it because a lot of people will love this movie.
Here's what I'll tell you. Go into it with an open mind. Okay? It is long.
It's really not.
It is long.
It's really not.
It feels longer than it is.
No, it does not.
Pardon me.
I think this movie has a great pace. Very good pace.
Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it does not.
God.
The pace is tied to the storytelling, and the storytelling is non-existent.
My friends out there who love this movie, please, back me up here. Post down in the comments.
And don't get cute, because I clap back in the comments. I don't give a damn. I will respond in the comments. I genuinely, if you love this movie, if this movie is something nostalgic that you appreciate and that you think it's great and you think it's a classic, I love that for you. But everything isn't for everybody, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. This movie is not for me.
Which fair enough. I mean, that's fair. That's fair argument, but you're wrong.
I want okay. I'm about to start being real mean about it in a minute. Like, you really want me to shit on the movie? I can shit on the movie. So it's funny. We've been friends for too long. That's so funny. So let's Jeremy. So let's go ahead and move on to kind of the final segment of this. Let's talk about the after credit scene.
After credit scene. So Tony walks in. It's not specified how long it's been, but it's an after credit scene.
It's never specified how long it's been.
It does it because he walks into the house. How long has it been since that press conference? Is it like the day of, or like what?
It
doesn't need to be. It's a post credit scene. It's a post credit scene to tease Avengers. Like there's no reason they had to establish that.
Do you know that I would not have stayed for the after credit scene? The way I would have been running out of that movie theater, my legs would have been cramped. Listen, if I wasn't sitting at home comfy cozy on my couch. The
only reason, because after credit scene were a thing up to this point, but they weren't as well known yet because the MCU really started this trend.
Yeah.
They showed up every now and then in movies, but some people would stay for them. Some people didn't even know they existed. But so
now it's to the point where we like Google.
Exactly.
Scene. I fast forwarded through the credits. I was like, we're not. This is not the theater experience, babe. Get to the point.
But I remember when this movie first came out, everybody was like, Iron Man has a post-credit scene. You have to stay for it. Do not leave before the credits end because there's a big scene at the end that's teasing something. We were all like, okay, we'll see. And then, we have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury come in.
Great choice.
Great.
Excellent
choice. God, so fucking good. And race swapped too, which is awesome.
Which were people in righteous uproar about that?
I don't remember.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think so, but I don't remember.
I'm going to do a little bit of research and maybe I'll put a little post-credit scene in this movie in this episod about whether or not he was, people were outraged about it. But
sure. I don't think they were, but I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think you can be mad about Samuel L. Jackson.
They
could make Samuel L. Jackson Princess Tiana and I would be like... Jesus. I didn't pick a white princess. I picked the one black one. God damn it. They can make Samuel L. Jackson Snow White.
Please don't. Please don't ever touch Snow White again.
Yeah, actually leave Snow White in hell where she belongs. Anyway, carry on.
No, so it's like, I am Iron Man. You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you walked into a bigger universe here. You just don't know it yet.
The way you quoted that whole thing word for word is diabolical.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative. Boom! Post-credit scene, Avengers has officially been set up. No, I am being aggressive about it because that was such a huge deal at the time. I was like, holy shit, are they really about to make a fucking Avengers movie? Like, how is this going to happen? So it was awesome. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, of course, I don't get to have that kind of reaction to it because the Avengers had already been a thing when I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Literal days ago.
Yeah. You just had to be there. Like seeing these movies get set up for the first time. Yeah, it was an event.
But some of this stuff, like in the next movie we'll talk about, it will still be kind of a thing for me because I haven't seen them. So I'm like, oh shit, I didn't expect that person to come in. Or oh shit, I didn't expect that to happen. But I can imagine if I was a fan of what had already happened in the film. Getting to the end of the credits.
Film?
Yeah. I've been saying the word film like that for years. You just now catching on?
Yeah, the fuck?
I've asked Jazz, I've been saying film for watch any review that I've done on my own personal YouTube channel. I say film.
I don't remember you saying that ever.
Film. I've said it I don't remember this the entirety of our friendship almost.
I really don't. I swear to God, I don't remember.
Damn, this man ain't even really my friend.
Fuck you. Don't you always have to take it there for no reason.
So if I had watched the entirety of this film, I loved every minute of it. Yeah. I wanted so badly to see what the end of the credits was. I probably would have been gooped and gagged.
Oh my God,
and
it was crazy.
I'm going to say this. Crazy. I know I was just talking about how, the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. gag or whatever was annoying and unnecessary. What they should have done was had them not say anything about S.H.I.E.L.D. until Nick Fury says it in the after credit scene. That would have been gaggy. That would have been amazing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That would have been so Actually, right now that I'm thinking about it, I would not be as annoyed about that gag if he had said it at the end.
So he says the whole name strategic blah blah blah, but he doesn't say S.H.I.E.L.D. at all until Nick Fury shows up.
Until Nick Fury says it at the very end. We're here to talk to you about. I'm with S.H.I.E.L.D. We're here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. That would have been
okay. I guess I could see.
I would have been gooped by that because this one character says it that way so much.
Coulson, yeah.
And then he goes S.H.I.E.L.D. and it just kind of is like they say it, but I think that's another thing that kind of bothered me about the movie. They just kind of throw it away. Like they don't really. I was there for 3 months. I'm with S.H.I.E.L.D. I am Iron Man. Ugh, I mean, like it just
the truth is I am Iron Man. That scene is iconic. You cannot make fun.
I know it's
cannot
iconic, but whatever. It was another thing that
that was such a good way to end.
They cut away from everything too fast.
That was such a good way to end the movie.
It would have been so sickening if they had waited and let Samuel L. Jackson.
I can see what you mean by that. That
would have been.
I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that. I could just, that's actually a really good point.
It would have been really fucking cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. So final thoughts, I guess, as we wrap up
this first episode.
Episode. First of all, I don't apologize for anything I said. I said
never will,
and I never will. I mean every single thing I say, and I said it with my chest. Again, not for me.
Yeah. Again, for me.
Yeah. You're gonna see a lot of that. I think that's gonna be our rating system. Instead of giving it a number, it's gonna be either not for me or for
not for me or for me, yeah.
So
there is a movie in like pre the first Avengers that I'm very on. So we'll see when we get there.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
We'll see when we get there. Yeah. Even when I first saw it in the theater, I was like, it's fine. Like, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Final thoughts. Not for me.
Oh, the Stan Lee cameo of the movie.
Oh yeah, the Stan Lee cameo.
For each movie, of course, Stan Lee has a cameo.
Are you saying Stam? It sounds like
I did say Stam. Fuck off. Shut up.
Put some respect on my man's name. His name is Stan. Okay. Stan Lee. Stan Lee. Is his actual name Stanley? And he just goes Stan Lee. I might have to look that up because that's kind of funny.
That would be funny.
What was the Stan Lee cameo in this movie? I don't remember.
It's very blink and you miss it. He shows up to that one benefit that he wasn't invited to, and he walks up behind somebody and goes, you look great, Hefner. And he turns around.
That wasn't blink if you miss it. That was like a for real cameo.
Yeah.
I listen. I adore Stan Lee.
Who doesn't?
I think what he did is specifically with X-Men, and that being like a lot of people being so mad about race and politics and gender study and gender identity being a part of the MCU when it's kind of inherently ingrained in everything that Marvel has done since the inception. Okay, so women are some of the strongest people in the comics. Sorry about it, but I think it's so funny that he was like, I gotta be in these movies if we're gonna make them.
Yeah. I mean, he had cameos in Marvel movies leading up to this. But
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
He's on the train, right? In the Topher Grace Spider-Man?
In Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
I don't remember oh, no, he walks up to Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 and he says, like, yeah, I guess somebody can make a difference. Enough said in like Times Square when he's watching the TVs and stuff.
No, he's on the train in
Captain Marvel.
There you go. Yeah, I was like, he's on the train in some movie. Anyway.
So good cameo. Just kind of like he doesn't really say anything, but I guess he's playing Hugh Hefner for some reason.
Very funny.
This is kind of weird. But yeah, final thoughts. I loved it. I love this movie. I will always love this movie. Could nostalgia have to do with that? Absolutely. But trying my best to put nostalgia aside, I think this movie absolutely holds up.
Well,
that should be a question we ask at the end of every episode. Does this movie hold up? At least for the early
And
ones.
I'll be able to answer some of those.
What?
Because like things like Age of Ultron and some of the movies that I've seen, I should be able to be like, did this movie hold up?
Oh yeah, I mean, does it hold up to today?
Oh well,
from this movie's like 2008. So
well, does this movie hold up from the standpoint of like writing, acting, CGI? Acting, yes. Writing could be a lot stronger. And while I think the CGI does look chitsy and very 2008, it's not awful.
It's not at all. No. I think it holds up. I think the whole movie holds up. The third act, like I said, gets really messy, and they obviously turn it into need to have a big CGI fight. But other than that, this movie holds up. This is a great start to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're just getting started. This is only the first one. This is the first episode. You started a podcast about one of the most long-running series in film history. Like, you knew this was going to happen.
Listen, I'm in this for the spandex.
Even though it's an iron suit.
I'm just talking about to come. I know what's down the pipeline.
Yeah, just wait. We'll get there. And a certain movie and a certain character. We'll get there.
It is not even just one movie. It's every movie.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Pervert.
Uh-huh.
No, but I think that's it. Like, You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching this. We've been working on this for about 2 or 3 months now, like kind of getting it prepped and like.
I hope y'all like the graphic, the artwork.
Yeah. All this, man. He's
I can do that stuff.
Dude,
yeah, I went to college for it.
The fucking man.
Yeah, so if you like this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. We have a Facebook page. Follow the Facebook page. We will update you guys. We'll post regularly on there when we can.
There will eventually be an Instagram and SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, a way to listen to stream. But I think y'all want to watch these. I think you want to see my face when you're listening to this, because it's gonna get really buck wild. But with all that,
genuinely,
all that done. Comment down below what you think.
Yes.
Leave your comments about what you think about the movie.
Yeah. Do you think this movie holds up? Do you think Iron Man 2008, especially if you saw it in the theater back in 2008, do you think it holds up today? Let us know.
And also, again, keep it cute in the comments. Okay? I don't want no smoke. And y'all don't want no smoke.
This man will fight back.
I don't play games.
He has every snarky remark in the book.
Every single one of them.
Trust me. You don't want to start with him.
I know who I am, and I know what space I'm in. Yeah. And I also know that I don't play that shit.
Yeah.
So comment down below what you think of the movie.
Yeah.
If you agree, if you disagree. Let's have a genuine...
Let's have a discussion.
A genuine, open discussion in the comments about this movie.
Absolutely.
And of course...
So... next week, why don't you tell them what movie we're watching next week, Darrious?
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give them a tease for next week.
Next week is The Incredible Hulk.
You wearing a green shirt too? Oh, green. Why is there so much green?
Green's my favorite color. Green is my favorite color.
Which means he actually loved it. So we'll get there.
I can't wait for y'all. Oh no, I didn't mean to rip it. I didn't mean to rip the page.
You fucking idiot.
No.
You stupid.
I was gonna, when we get rich and famous, give this away as my original nose.
Sell it for $500 million.
Sell it for $500 million so I could become Iron Man Beach in a cave with a man I've never known.
Thank you for saving my life.
Thank you for saving my life. Oh my God, you gave your life up for me. I'm a changed woman now.
Too much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get too gay during Pride Month?
Oh,
sorry about it.
Fuck you.
Okay, we gotta end this
genuinely,
episode.
Next week we'll be looking at The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton. Not the Eric Bana one.
Eric Bana?
There was an early 2000s Hulk.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's not enough when I got
Yeah, you didn't know? There's a whole other 3-hour movie about Hulk now.
So thanks
thank you
for coming around.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is our first episode, and it's just gonna get crazier from here.
It's gonna get wild from here, man. It's about to get buck wild. So until next time.
Until we see you next week. Ready?
Yeah. Avengers
Disassemble.